Have you ever felt awkward or embarrassed when meeting new people? If you spend too much time judging yourself based on other people's standards and opinions, it can make you shy and less interested in other people. These feelings can hurt your confidence and communication skills, making you avoid situations where you feel vulnerable. Feel-bad Stoicism, an old philosophy that stresses resilience and self-control, has a lot of useful advice for dealing with these problems. Instead of letting your emotions control you, you can learn to control them, getting through tough situations without feeling embarrassed or hesitant. This is especially important in today's world, where communication is not only a necessary skill, but also a key to relationships and opportunities. Stoic ideas can help us build unbreakable confidence and a positive attitude in any situation. Today, let's look at 11 Stoic techniques to help you get over being shy and embarrassed, getting you more confident and successful in communication and improving your relationships. Before we start, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and that notifications are turned on so you don't miss our daily exciting content. Don't forget to like and leave a comment if you find anything in this video interesting or useful. Allow us to begin. Lesson 1. Be okay with being yourself. Many of us spend a lot of time and energy trying to fit in and be what we think other people want us to be. But the truth is that trying to be someone we're not all the time can be really tiring. It can feel like we're actors in a play who are always changing their masks and forgetting what they look like. Let's look at the Stoic philosophy, which tells us to be strong and resilient. Stoics stress the importance of knowing what we can control and letting go of what we can't. For example, we can't change how other people see us, but we can change how we accept ourselves. At some point in their lives, everyone feels uncertain, nervous, and self-conscious. You are not alone in these feelings. They are a normal part of being human. Realizing this can free you up. For example, if you're at a party or networking event where you don't know many people, you might feel shy or worried that you won't make a good impression. Instead of pretending to be someone else or copying what's popular, why not just be yourself and share your real thoughts and interests? By doing this, you're practicing authenticity, which people often find refreshing and interesting. When you stop trying to prove something and start living genuinely, you should still try to grow and get better, but it's about knowing who you are, enjoying your journey, and realizing that growth comes from within, not from other people's approval. So the next time you feel like you have to conform or change yourself to fit in, remember that it's okay to just be you. Enjoy your quirks, strengths, weaknesses, and all the other parts of yourself. As the Stoics say, let's try to be nicer to ourselves and remember that peace doesn't come from praise from others. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself." Accepting who you are is the first step toward a more content and grounded life. Lesson 2. Know your skills. We all have special skills and gifts that make us unique. These can be creative skills like writing and painting, or they can be social skills like empathy or good communication. Epictetus and other Stoic thinkers told us to focus on what we could change, and your unique strengths are strong. To start, take a moment to think about what activities make you feel skilled and sure of yourself, what you're good at, and what makes you happy. Pleasure and happiness. Here they are. Once you know what your natural strengths are, do more of those things. For example, if you're good at telling stories, you could join a writing group or start a blog. If you're good at listening, look for roles like mentoring or counseling that let you use this skill. By focusing on your strengths, you're not only practicing your skills, you're also building self-confidence. When you know your skills and use them, the anxiety and self-doubt that come with being shy go away on their own. Imagine you're at a social event and feeling nervous. Instead of running away, you could start talking about things that make you feel strong and excited. This will not only take your mind off of your fears, but it will also show off your passions, which will help others see your value and strengths. Knowing and using your unique qualities gives you a clear advantage. They help you stand out, which boosts your self-esteem and makes you feel more at ease in social situations. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who injured you. In this case, instead of letting shyness control your actions, you use the strength of your character and abilities to get past it. Remember that embracing your strengths is a big part of fully accepting yourself. As you learn more about your skills and see how valuable you are in other people's lives, your confidence will naturally start to rise. You'll be more willing to interact, better prepared to contribute, and less focused on the worries that used to hold you back. Lesson 3. Live in the present. When we're talking, it's easy to get caught up in the present. Pay attention to now. Focusing on the present moment means giving your full attention to the person you're talking to. Don't just passively listen to what they say. Actively listen to their tone of voice, facial expressions, and body language. Are they excited, worried, or happy? What does their expression tell you about them beyond what they say? Stoicism teaches us how to live in harmony with nature, which means accepting things as they are and focusing on what we can control in conversations. We can't change the other person's thoughts or responses, but we can change our focus. When we focus on the other person, we take our mind off of our own worries and criticisms of ourselves. Take a look at this short situation. Picture yourself in a cafe with a friend who is thrilled to tell you about a new book they're reading, instead of thinking about what you'll say or whether you're making enough eye contact. Get caught up in their excitement and look at the sparkle in their eyes as they tell you the story. The animated way they sit forward eagerly makes you a part of their excitement, and naturally, your shyness starts to fade into the background. This method does more than just help you deal with your shyness. It also improves your relationships with other people. People really value being heard and seen, and your focused attention lets them know that you value them. This, in turn, leads to deeper, more meaningful relationships. Lesson 4. Learn to know yourself better. One important thing to keep in mind is that most people are too busy with their own problems and looks to pay much attention to you. If you feel anxious in social situations, focus on yourself and don't judge your thoughts or feelings. Remember that just recognizing that you're shy is a big step toward dealing with your anxiety. This knowledge can help you feel less stressed and more at ease in social situations. Self-awareness means being aware of your emotional triggers and thought patterns. For example, when you walk into a room full of people, you might think, "Everyone is looking at me," or "I don't belong here." Stop and ask yourself, is this thought factual or am I assuming? Most of the time, you'll find that these thoughts are just assumptions and not reality. By regularly becoming more self-aware, you can start to stop these cycles of negative thinking. This doesn't happen all at once, but as you become more aware of your inner world, you slowly gain more control over your feelings and behaviors. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This quote shows how important it is to think about yourself in order to find peace. The first step to self-improvement is accepting yourself as you are. As you become more aware of your thoughts and feelings, you also start to understand what makes you unique. This is where real growth happens, not just dealing with shyness, but also accepting and making the most of your natural traits. The next time you feel overwhelmed in a social setting, remember that most people are more interested in their own experiences than judging yours. Take a deep breath, notice your thoughts, and remind yourself that you are on a path to improvement. Every little step you take to know and accept yourself is a big step toward social comfort and confidence. Lesson 5. Turn your attention to other people. Shy people often think that to be interested in conversation, they need to come up with great things to talk about. But here's some good news, that's not really how it works. Instead, try focusing on the person you're talking to. This comes from the Stoic ideas that we should learn from others and be interested in their stories and hobbies. By focusing on the person in front of you instead of your own worries, you can lower the pressure you put on yourself, which makes you shy. To do this, start by asking questions. People naturally like to talk about their experiences, opinions, and interests. To use this to your advantage, be curious and ask open-ended questions that require more than a yes or no answer. For example, instead of asking, "Did you like the movie?" ask, "What did you think about the movie?" This will get a more detailed answer and show that you're genuinely interested in their point of view. By focusing on the other person, you won't owe active listening, is another important part of this. When you pay close attention to what other people say, you naturally become more interested in the conversation. This interest is important because it keeps the conversation going and makes it easier to come up with follow-up questions or comments. This keeps your mind off of your own self-consciousness, and before you know it, you might be so into a conversation that you've forgotten all about your original point. This method not only helps you get over being shy, but it also helps you connect with others in deeper, more important ways. Lesson 6. Talk to people. This may seem like a simple tip, but it works really well, especially if you're trying to get over being shy. Being tough to teach instructs us to see problems as chances to improve. And what better way to improve than to leave our comfort zones? If you're naturally shy or introverted, starting conversations can be hard. But remember that the only way to get better at something is to keep doing it. Start with the people you're most comfortable with, like family and friends. Share your thoughts, ask questions, and give your opinion. This safe environment is great for building your confidence. Once you start to feel more comfortable there, slowly expand your conversations to include more people. Start a conversation with someone. It could be at your local coffee shop, in a park, or even while you're waiting in line at the grocery store. It can be as simple as asking them about the weather, what they're wearing, or what they think about it. These small interactions can teach you a lot about how to handle social situations when you're out at bars or restaurants. Every conversation is a chance to learn and grow. What matters here is not how each exchange turns out, but that you are trying and learning from each one. This is very much in line with Stoic ideas. Focus on what you're doing and don't worry about what might happen. Talking to people isn't as scary as you think it is. Each conversation helps chip away at your fear and awkwardness, and you'll start to notice that people usually respond well to someone who tries to connect with them. Remember that every conversation you have is a step toward becoming better at social interaction, so keep pushing your limits, one conversation at a time. This practice not only helps you get over shyness, but it also makes you more socially adept. New links and points of view. Lesson 7. Let's involve ourselves in the world around us as much as possible. When anxiety strikes, especially in social situations, take a deep breath. Anxiety can feel overwhelming, but you can regain control through something as simple as your breath. Here's what you can do when you find yourself feeling anxious in a social setting. First, recognize the signs of your anxiety. This could be a racing heartbeat, rapid breathing, or a general feeling of discomfort. Taking control of your worry starts with recognizing it. Once you've done that, take a moment to step away, kindly excuse yourself if you need to, and find a quiet place. The bathroom could be a good choice, a quiet spot, or even just going outside for a short time. The point is to find a place where you can be by yourself for a few minutes. In this quiet place, close your eyes to block out outside noise and focus on what's inside you. To start, take a deep, slow breath in through your nose and hold it for a few seconds. Then, slowly let out the breath through your mouth, letting all the air out along with some of your stress. Do this several times, focusing on each breath. This deliberate focus on breathing helps to center your mind and calms the body's response to stress while you do this breathing exercise. Mindfulness means paying attention to your thoughts as they come and go, without judging them or yourself. The goal is to take your mind off of anything that is making you feel stressed and focus on something as simple and relaxing as your breath. After a few minutes of this deep breathing exercise, you'll probably feel less anxious. Your heart rate should slow down, and your mind may feel clearer. Now that you're better prepared to go back to the social situation, you may find that you can interact with people more freely, focusing less on how self-conscious you are and more on the interaction itself. This technique not only helps you in the moment, but it also builds your confidence over time. Remember that each successful use of this strategy strengthens your ability to deal with anxiety and builds a sense of resilience. Taking a few deep breaths can help you regain your composure and face social challenges with a new sense of calm the next time you feel overwhelmed in a social setting. Let's practice this together and make these moments of mindfulness a regular part of how we deal with our emotions and interactions. Keeping eye contact with someone is a basic human connection that shows interest and trust. Think about it this way. Making eye contact is more than just looking someone in the eyes. By looking someone in the eyes, you show that you see them and are fully present in this time. This is a form of nonverbal communication that can say much more than words ever could. An important part of the Stoic mindset is learning to control the things we can change and accepting the things we can't. Eye contact is something we can choose to do. When you choose to engage more deeply through eye contact, you show that you are in charge of your interactions in a good way. For shy people, the idea of keeping eye contact might make them feel uncomfortable. It's normal. The important thing is to begin small. Start by doing that with family and friends. People you're comfortable with will notice when you're looking away and gently remind you to look back. It's like flexing a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. Here's an example to show this. Imagine you're at a party with a lot of strangers. It's easy to feel like you don't belong, but when you make eye contact, even for a moment, it can make you feel more involved. People respond to it, and they often show the same level of interest. Eye contact also shows that you are paying attention and interested in what someone else is saying. This not only makes the other person feel valued, but it also helps you connect with them on a deeper, more emotional level. This is important in any situation, but it's especially important if you're shy. It can change the mood and make you feel more included and less on the outside. As you practice this, your confidence will also grow. By consciously making eye contact, you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and every little step is a victory in the battle against shyness. Remember to push yourself to hold it for a little longer than feels comfortable. Each time you do, you're building your confidence and taking charge of your interactions. Just like the Stoics say, we should master what is within our power. Why not start with Lesson 9 on eye contact? Take care of yourself. Did you know that simple self-care habits can make you feel a lot better about your confidence? Taking care of ourselves is important, especially when we think about the Stoic philosophy, which tells us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. By doing simple things like showering and cutting our nails every day, we're actively controlling our well-being, which in turn makes us stronger and more confident. These may seem like small things, but they have a huge effect on how you feel about yourself. Wearing clothes that fit well and make you feel good can completely change how you act. When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you project confidence. For example, on the morning of a big meeting or social event, if you take care of your hygiene and dress in a way that makes you feel confident, and maybe even do some exercise to boost your endorphins, you'll be in a better mood. This changes how you think about these situations, which doesn't just make you look more confident to others, it also makes you feel more confident inside. This boost in confidence is a game changer, especially if you're naturally shy or introverted. Suddenly, meeting new people or starting conversations isn't as scary, and you're not overwhelmed by fear because you're focusing on your own positive state instead of how other people will react. Keep in mind that little steps can often make a big difference. Let's follow those steps together and see where they take us as we try to get over our shyness and welcome new opportunities. Lesson 10. Saying yes instead of no. Saying no can be a safety mechanism for shy people that helps them avoid potentially awkward situations, but it also means missing out on a lot of chances to grow and connect with others. Saying yes opens the door to new relationships and experiences. The more yeses you say, the more comfortable and confident you'll feel in social situations. For example, if your boss asks you to go out to lunch with a group of coworkers, the shy part of you might say no because you're worried about all the things that could go wrong. But what if you say yes instead? That lunch could lead to new friendships, deeper connections with your coworkers, and a more. The act of saying yes fits with the idea of taking advantage of what life has to offer and having the guts to face the world head-on. Stoics stress how important it is to focus on what we can control about how we react to calls of in life. Saying yes is a way to take charge in a good way. However, saying yes doesn't mean deciding to do things that are against your values or that make you feel bad. Being open to going to that party, starting a new class, or even just starting a conversation you might normally avoid is part of choosing to live life more fully. This practice can also help you feel better about your own self-confidence every time you say yes and have a good experience. By saying yes to small things today, like a conversation with a neighbor or a new task at work, you show yourself that you can handle social situations, that you can contribute meaningfully to conversations, and that you are a valued social partner. I encourage you to start small and break down the barriers that shyness puts up. Lesson 11. Copy how other people act and behave. If you're talking to other people, mimicking is really about the subtle art of mirroring. This can mean having a similar posture, matching their tone of voice, or even speaking at the same speed. The goal is not to exactly copy them, but to make your interaction more natural. Style with theirs. How does this work? If you mirror someone's body language or voice tone, you can show that you understand and are with them. It's a way of saying, "I'm with you and I understand you," without using words. This is especially helpful when you're nervous or shy because it can help lower your tension and make the interaction feel more natural. For example, let's say you're in a meeting and you're feeling out of your element. You notice a coworker who always seems at ease. Pay attention to how they sit, how they gesture when they speak, and how they hold their head. When you want to make a point, lean forward a little. If they speak slowly and clearly, try to use the same tone. This doesn't mean giving up what makes you unique, it just means changing your style to fit the situation better. Communication in Stoicism there is a rule about how to deal with things while keeping our inner strength. This philosophy fits well with mirroring because it helps people be more flexible and aware of their surroundings, which makes it easier for people to connect with each other without sacrificing their own values. This is especially helpful for shy people. In social situations, mirroring can also help you feel more confident. It can make you feel more involved in the conversation and less alone in your anxiety. Focusing on matching the other person's communication style takes your mind off of worries about how you sound, which lets you be more present. This method also helps foster a connection. When people see subtle reflections of their own behaviors in others, it often makes them feel more open and at ease. This can lead to better mutual understanding and rapport, which can make conversations more interesting and less stressful for everyone. Remember that it's not about being a perfect copycat, it's about building a bridge of understanding and comfort. As you practice this, you may find that your interactions not only get easier, but also more fun. It's important to think about how ancient knowledge can change our lives today. By following Stoic principles, we give ourselves the tools to handle the complicated nature of human relationships with grace and strength. Remember that Stoicism isn't about making our emotions stronger. It's about mastering them and using their power to move us forward instead of holding us back. Stoicism teaches us to develop an unshakable inner peace that gives us the confidence and calmness to face any challenge. By using the 11 Stoic techniques we've talked about together, you're not only improving your communication skills, but you're also making deeper connections and growing as a person. As you start your journey to becoming more stoic, remember to be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, and never underestimate the power of your own resilience. Let's continue to develop courage, wisdom, and compassion as we seek a more meaningful life. Thank you for joining us on this enlightened exploration. If you have joined us before, thank you so much for your help. Until next time, stay strong, stay motivated, and may your journey be full of unwavering joy and confidence.